It's Canuary time, and I am making this. Doesn't it look good? Yeah, refried beans. And I'm going to show you how to can it. And be sure to stay until the end of this video when I show you how to take your beans out of your jar and make refried beans. It's so easy and fast. And these refried beans are great as a side dish, in a taco, in a burrito, or even on top of nachos. Canuary is the brainchild of Lisa from Suttons Daze. She hosts this Canuary collaboration every January and invites channels to post a new canning video. So there is one every single day in January, and there is a great giveaway at the end. Now, I have the schedule down in the description section of this video, so you won't miss a single video. Ooh, I guess I'm being rude. I haven't introduced myself. Hi, I'm Mary Ellen, or Prepper Potpourri, as my channel is called, and I have been making videos on YouTube for over 10 years on how to preserve your food, how properly to store your food, and how to keep your family safe in emergency. So if that content sounds interesting to you, hit that subscribe button and the notification buttons. And if you like this video, do a thumbs up. It is greatly, greatly appreciated. Now, please note, this recipe is not a water bath canning recipe. You must use a pressure canner. But you say, I don't have a pressure canner. Well, guess what? You have the chance to win a pressure canner in Canuary. Canuary is being sponsored by ForJars and Lisa from Suttons Daze. And ForJars is giving away their brand spanking new pressure canner, and Lisa is giving away a pressure canner from ForJars. So that's two chances to win a pressure canner. And then Lisa is also giving away a steam canner. And ForJars is donating 200 lids and some towels and timers. So it is a great, great giveaway. And the giveaway will be live on January 31st on Lisa's Suttons Daze channel. So you want to be sure to watch. And to increase your chances of winning, well, to win it all, you have to comment on the videos. And the more videos you watch and comment, the better chance you have that your comment will be randomly picked for one of those fantastic prizes. So, check out that schedule below and watch every single video. Now let's get started. This recipe for refried beans is from Angie Schneider's book, Pressure Canning for Beginners and Beyond. It has 94 recipes in it. And if you've watched my other Canuary videos, you know I just love this book. It has so many great recipes. So I do have a purchase link below if you want to purchase it, because it is great for your canning library. Now, of course, we're not actually making refried beans and putting them in a jar and canning them. Instead, we are canning our beans with wonderful spices, and it will be really, really easy to make these into refried beans. In fact, I'll show you how at the end of this video. Now first, we have to prepare 2 pounds of beans. So here we have a 2-pound bag of pinto beans. Now, just want to clean our beans and make sure there aren't any little pebbles or anything in there. And you must pre-soak your beans, either overnight or do the quick soak method. Never can your beans raw, for 2 different reasons. One, they can absorb all the liquid in the jar and just become this big bricky clump. And we don't know if the heat can adequately pass through it. So your canning goods are safe on your pantry shelves. And the other reason is the beans could expand in the jar and your jar might break. That's not good either. So you have to pre-soak your beans. Now I am using the quick soak method for the beans because I forgot to soak them last night. But you can soak them for at least 12 hours or overnight. And all you have to do is put in 10 cups of water for every pound of beans you're soaking, and then put a lid on it and put it in the refrigerator for, usually we do it overnight. But I'm doing the quick soak method. Now you add 10 cups of water for every pound of beans. So we would need 20 cups of water. And the way I figure it, it will be 5 quarts. So I'll be back. Okay, so we have 5, almost the top. So make sure you got a big enough pan. And 2 things have floated. This and this. So I'm just going to take those out. And now we're going to put it on a burner. Now I've got it on a burner and we want to get it up to boiling. Okay, we got it up to boiling. We're going to boil it for 2 minutes and then stop. Okay, now we're just going to cover it and wait an hour. Oh, I forgot to mention I have OCD. That is right, obsessive canning disorder. Don't know if you can see my shirt, but I'll show you it here. I bought this t-shirt just for Canuary. And if you're like me and also have OCD and would like to proclaim it to everyone you meet, again, I have a purchase link below. And I have an idea, a lot of you also have OCD. Been over an hour and now we just gotta drain our beans. Let them there a minute, let them drain just a bit. I absolutely love this recipe because it has minimal ingredients. Basically just beans, water, and spices. Back in the pot. And then we want 6 cups of water. Now we want to add our spices. We have 2 tablespoons salt, 2 tablespoons onion powder, 2 teaspoons black pepper, 1 tablespoon garlic powder. Now you want to add water per your canner's instructions. Since we have well water, I add a little vinegar too, so my jars won't be cloudy. Now I have my 8-pint jars in here, and I'm going to heat them up while my beans are cooking. So I got my beans here. I have them over high heat. We need to get them up to boiling. Now, according to this recipe, you need 8-pint jars or 4-quart jars. I have to admit, I followed this recipe to the T, and I only had 7-pint jars. Okay, we now want to turn it down. We got a nice boil here. And we're just going to lightly boil it for about 30 minutes. Be back. Time to fill our jars. So we're going to start filling our very hot jars. And I'll be back. Now I only got 7 jars, not 8, which is weird because, you know, it's using 2 pounds, right? So we're going to fill them up to the 1-inch mark with the water in our pan. So again, I'll be back. So there was not enough water left in the pan to reach the 1-inch mark. So put in hot boiling water to make up the difference. Now we want to debubble them. Now we're just wiping off the lids. Want to make sure always you get a good seal. Okay. And then we're just going to put on our rings. Finger tight, don't do it too tight. We'll be back when these are done. Okay, we have them all nice and lidded and ringed. Now it's time to put them in our canner. Okay, next time I make this, I'm going to use 7 cups of water because 6 cups of water just wasn't enough. So I had to add some additional boiling water to my jars to top them off with that 1-inch headspace. Okay, they're in our canner. Make sure you have lubricated your rim if it needs it. And you checked your vent hole. Very important. And we're going to put this on. So I'm going to tighten these. And now we're going to wait until we get a nice stream of steam coming out of there. Okay, we're getting a nice steam out here, so we're going to set our timer for 10 minutes. Okay, it's been 10 minutes. I'm going to put on my weight. I have a weighted gauge canner and I'm using a 10-pound weight. But if you live 1,000 feet above sea level or even higher, then you need to use the 15-pound marker on the weight. But if you have a dial gauge canner, then you want to use your 11-pound weight. That is, as long as you live under 1,000 feet. If you live 1,000 feet or over, follow this chart. And now we're going to wait until this starts jiggling and this gauge will get up to 10. Be back. Okay, it's a jiggling. Now I'm going to process my pints for 75 minutes, but if you do it with quarts, make sure you process them for 90 minutes. All right, 75 minutes is up. We're going to turn off the burner and wait till this gets down to 0. Well, the gauge is down to 0. Take this off. And loosen our lid. Now I'm just going to leave them in here about 5 minutes before I take them out. Here they are, all out of the canner. We're going to wait 24 hours and then we'll label them and take the rings off. Time to open our refried beans jar. And if you want to keep the lid intact, you can use this jar key. It works really well. Let me show you. I'm going to do it where there's a kind of an open area. Okay, the lid, nice, no dents at all. So I don't reuse these for canning, but I do use them when I'm putting dehydrated food in jars or pasta in jars to keep. These work just great, and you can reuse them as long as you have something like this jar key. Again, link is below. Now I am placing a heaping, maybe a little more than a tablespoon in here, of bacon grease. If it ever comes off my fork, there we go. Because I always save the grease when I'm making bacon, but you can use whatever oil you wish. Ready to put the beans in. And if you have some food in your jar, like I do, you just add it in. Because those beans will absorb more of the fluid while they're cooking. Just make sure we get all those good spices out. Okay. Now we're just going to let them cook for a little while. Cook for about 10 minutes. And I'm going to put an area over here. I'm going to cook up some onions at the same time. Okay. Now you see we're getting fluid out of the beans. That's okay, they're going to reabsorb them as we crush it into it. And I am actually putting some onions into the beans too. And as these cook, you can use whatever you want. You can use a potato masher, or if you wanted, puree these with an immersion blender if you like them really, really smooshed up. But I'm just, as I cook them, using my fork. Gradually, they all will break down. be back. We're getting them pretty smooshed up here. And I prefer this to actually with an immersion blender because this looks more homemade, I think. And it is. I call it more rustic. Well, it's so good and so easy to just open a jar and make the beans rather than buying store-bought canned beans with who knows what other ingredients in them. Okay, let's do a taste test. Get a little bit here of cheese and the beans. So creamy. And you can taste some of the spices. And of course, you can taste the crunch of my onions too. But isn't this easy? And don't forget to watch all the Canuary videos so you have a chance to win one of those fabulous prizes. And I'll have another video, Canuary video on the 28th that kind of goes along with this Mexican theme. I will be showing you how to can street tacos. Happy Canuary.